This video will demonstrate how to create a club renewal application on Seesaw. The fee for this application is €655. When you first visit seesaw.ie, the login page will open. This is where you can log into your legal practice account. Your username is the email address that was used to register for Seesaw, and your password is required to sign in. Once logged in, you will then be met by the dashboard screen. Please select Create a Licensing Case to begin your application. Once you select to create a licensing case, the following case summary page will open. Choose the correct options here to proceed with your application. The type defaults to licensing. Select Renewal/Registration of Club from the subtype drop-down list. You need to ensure this is selected first, otherwise the jurisdiction drop-down will not be available. Select District Court as the jurisdiction and click Save to proceed. The case details page will now appear. Click Edit Details for the fields to open. Select Existing from the New or Existing License drop-down. You can then search for the license you are applying for the club renewal on by clicking on the Related License field. This will open the e-register to search for the premises. When searching on the e-register, first click the Clear Filters button. We recommend to search using the premises area code or address line 1. It is recommended to search using one option only. The less information entered in the search fields, the more results will be returned. When the relevant premises appears, click on the green plus and all licenses held by the premises will show. Click Choose for the relevant license. The correct application type must then be selected from the drop-down. You will then select the correct District Court area, venue, date and time, and notice parties from the drop-down. When selecting the court date, please click on the field and not on the calendar. The field will not open if the calendar icon is clicked on. Please note, the application must be submitted on Seesaw at least 21 days before the court date to comply with the service period on notice parties. Once all details are entered, click Save. The Case Details tab will then reopen. Two new buttons will now appear in this tab. First, click on the Add Club Officer button. A minimum of 3 club officers must be entered here for a club license application. When you click on Add Club Officer, a new page will open where the officer details are entered. The role of the officer can be selected from the role drop-down. If Other is selected from the drop-down, a new field will appear where the description of the role can be entered. This is a mandatory field. Once the details of a club officer have been entered, you can click Save. The same steps must be followed for each club officer that is entered on the case. The club officers entered on the case must match the list of club officers which will be supplied to the court as part of the proofs. Once you have added the club officers, click on the Add Application button to enter the application details. The application details page will open. Once all details have been entered, click Save. Once details have been saved, the following prompt to proceed to applicant parties will appear. Click to proceed. This is where the applicant details are entered. Once the Applicant Parties tab has opened, click Add Applicant. A new page will open to enter the applicant details. Enter the details of the club here. First, the party type must be selected from the drop-down. You can then proceed to enter the club name and address. Once all applicant details have been entered, click Save. The Applicant Parties tab will reopen. You must also enter the club secretary details at this stage, as the club secretary must bring the application on behalf of the club. To enter their details, click the Add Club Secretary button. Once the Club Secretary page is opened, you can select Club Secretary from the Role and Case drop-down and proceed to enter their details. Once all Club Secretary details have been entered, click Save. Once the applicant and Club Secretary details have been entered and your case is complete, the Preview Notice of Application button will appear. You must preview your notice of application and check all details are correct before proceeding to pay and submit. When you click on the Preview Notice of Application button, the notice of application should download to your desktop. Once you preview your application and all details are correct, you can initiate the case by selecting Pay and Proceed, or you can select to pay later. If you select to pay and proceed, the following prompt will appear. Click on Continue to proceed to payment. The default payment type is direct debit. If you select this option, the fee will be deducted from the bank account attached to your CSOL account. By selecting Pay Now, the system will request your account password and payment will then be authorised. This password is the same account password you use to log into CSOL. You can alternatively choose the option to pay by credit card. Once payment has been made, a case number will then be assigned to the case. Your case will be listed for court for the date and venue you selected, and the notice party selected will be served overnight. The final notice of application displaying the case number is now available to download. We advise you to print this notice of application to provide to the court office when sending in the proofs. This can be found by opening the case in your case list, clicking into the Court Documents tab and clicking on the Options button beside the document in the list displayed and choosing Collect. If the notice of application does not download when you click Collect, you may have a safety setting turned on in Google Chrome to prevent pop-ups. If you have selected to pay later, your application will go directly to your basket awaiting payment. The basket can be found in the top right-hand corner of the screen in your CSOL account. If you wish to remove the cases from your shopping basket, you can do this by clicking the Remove from Basket button beside the case. When cases are moved out of the basket, they remain in the case list as case not initiated until they are paid for. They can be searched and located by the applicant's name. To add these cases back into your basket, you will need to open the case, preview the notice of application and proceed to payment. There is no facility to delete uninitiated cases on CSOL. If the option to pay and proceed does not appear after you have previewed the notice of application, your CSOL account type may not have access to authorised payments. If so, click on Pay Later. The case will go to your firm's shopping basket. The legal practice admin or legal payment user for your firm can then log into CSOL and make the payment and submit the case. The case will appear in the shopping basket in their account when they log in. If you require further assistance with creating your application, please contact kazoo@courts.ie.